The story begins with the settlement of a very humble and down-to-earth man called Dr. Disappointment. His ambitions and passion always swirled around experimenting with unknown matter. After many months of experimenting with the void, he one day managed to pull various individuals out of the void and happily welcomed them in the beautiful village of Swampwater. In favor of Swampwater's further growth and to ensure its safety, the doctor started to give his residents numerous different tasks. The most important one being the installation of a giant radio system with speakers all around the village to be able to always protect and keep the residents up to date. After hearing multiple strange roars in different occasions during his research about the void, the doctor gathered up with his fellow inhabitants to discover and reveal the cause of these odd sounds. Armed to their teeth, Swampwater residents went on a journey and discovered a portal to enter the notorious void. A colossus dragon-like creature welcomed them in a very unfriendly way on the other side of the portal, and forced the residents to kill it after a tiring and long-lasting fight for their own survival. In order to increase the protection of Swampwater and prevent its residents from further dangerous events like the fight of the dragon, the doctor proposed the setting up of guilds. Each guild got their own task assigned, making Swampwater more advanced and specialized in every basic chore, reaching from the radio service to the most basic needs like wood production. With the guild system in place, Swampwater was able to make itself fully protected and gain loads of prosperity and reputation. As you just heard, there's already a lot of beautiful history behind our beloved village of Swampwater. And as you can see, I've done the interior of our museum after building the museum itself in the last episode. Therefore, we will now have a look at it. The first thing when stepping in that we can see is the overview of Swampwater. I decided to give the room a red carpet and a big table to make it look like some sort of conference room. And here's the beautiful overview of Swampwater. But yeah, we will now continue with our tour through all the different rooms. I decided to dedicate every room and hallway to one part of the story of Swampwater. Therefore, as you walk through the museum, the story will be written on these signs and continue as you walk through the museum. Currently, Swampwater's story ends on the top floor, so I've made sure to keep many rooms free of space for the future history of Swampwater. And I also made this little history library room where everybody who wants can write a little story about Swampwater and deposit in this cozy little room. So I think it would be very funny if we will have like 10-15 books in the end, with every book having its own little tale. But yeah, interior wise, I tried to give this museum a very swampy look because of course it's a museum of Swampwater. Therefore I sometimes place these piles of moss which fade into the wood floor of the building, making it seem obviously very muddy. But yeah, as you know me, I'm really not an interior guy, but for this one I had so much fun working on it. But yeah, with the interior all done, the last thing we need to do is the surroundings of the museum. Therefore, I will see you in a minute. Here we are back with the surroundings. I decided to make the surroundings very natural looking, with little hills and stone piles, And also these very big azalea leaf trees. I figured that these leaves color-wise really fit to the mossy look of the museum. Therefore, yeah, I think they look good. And I also added this pathway leading back to Aerington stuff. And as you might have already seen, there's a beautiful new building right next to the museum, made by Aerington, and it's dedicated to the Wood Guild. It's a huge wood factory, and I just love the style with the brick, and it really fits to this little London theme. And well, seems like I'm not the only one admiring this awesome factory.
Oh no. Hello, Tabby. I'm just here admiring Aerington's work.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, speaking of Aerington's beautiful new wood factory, I mean, he's in the Wood Guild, right? Like the people that produce wood. I'm in the Museum Guild, and the museum is done happily. And I think I haven't shown it to you. So if you want, I can give you a little tour right now.
Oh, excellent. Please do. I'd be happy to see it.
I went with a swampy theme for it. I used moss blocks and some stone blocks. And I made it look very overgrown. I think that's the theme of this building really represents the look of Swampwater.
Oh.
So I hope you like it.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. This just screams Swampwater through and through.
Thank you. Well, I'll invite you into the building.
Oh yes, please, give me the tour.
In the beginning here, right ahead of us, there's the overview, like the main purpose why I decided to build this museum. And yeah, as you can see, we won't ever get lost again, I guess. It's a huge map. But Swampwater is expanding so fast that I'm afraid that I'll have to expand it soon.
Oh yes, the city's ever expanding.
Yeah.
And while that could be a bit troublesome for something like this, it's still lovely to have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The main part is the story itself, which is told in this museum, step for step. This is the first part of the story, the part of the story where it's told how all the people came together. Like there was a man called Dr. Disappointment who spawned these men into the beautiful village of Swampwater. And yeah, that's the lovely beginning. And if we go through this door right here, we come to the next part already. Oh. And that's the part of the further things like the radio system that Chess built. And yeah, that's the second part. And if we follow along here and go upstairs, yes, the third part is on the left side, about the mighty dragon fight.
Oh, that's an epic tale to be sure.
Yeah, I still have flashbacks. It was not a nice thing.
I'm happy you all were willing to risk life and limb for Swampwater.
Yeah,
you all did an amazing job.
Of course. Everything for Swampwater. Here's already the last part of the story. I made sure to still have some free space for the further story of Swampwater, because I think and I hope Swampwater will be a great village where everybody wants to go. So therefore I've many free rooms and free hallways where we still can continue with the further stories.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to see all of this being put down into paper finally. Well fine.
Of course. Of course. Everything for you and Swampwater.
And it all seems to be very accurate accounts too. I don't see any slander or misinterpretation. It's all by the numbers.
I gathered up with Aerington. He helped me a little bit. And yeah, we came up with this.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem.
And might I say, the building itself is beautiful.
Thank you. It's very swampy, we can say that.
Yes. It's... I like the touch of the moss being everywhere. It kind of holds the entire city together.
Exactly. But yeah, that is already it again for today's episode. It was again a little bit shorter episode, but I'm glad we could finish this museum. And I can also happily announce that we will start an awesome epic new project next episode. You will see what it is, it will be something very big and I'm very excited. With that being said, any feedback as always is very appreciated and I will see you in the next episode.